Welcome to the HSSA podcast.
I'm your co-host, Ashley.
And I'm your co-host, Kaya. Welcome to the HSSA podcast. Hi, my name is Bhandari, and I'm so excited to be one of your Apple Podcasts hosts for this year. I'm a first year, and I am in health science, and I also live in Essex Hall, so if you ever see me, please come say hi.
Hi guys, I'm Ashley. I'm also a first year in health sci. Super excited to be one of your co-hosts for the podcast. I'm from Vancouver, BC, so any West Coasters who are listening to the pod, feel free to come say hi. And we're super excited to bring back the podcast this year. Hope everybody's year is going well. And let's just dive straight into it.
Yeah, so the purpose of this podcast is to really just talk about the stuff that I know we're all feeling inside, but we want to talk about it out loud. And our vision is sort of to help students feel more connected to the program, to each other, and to themselves. So I'm super excited that we get to be a part of making the health sci community more welcoming.
Exactly, Kaya. And with that, let's introduce our first guest on the show, Grace. Welcome. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you so much, Kai and Ashley, for having me on the podcast today. It's awesome to be here. So as they mentioned, my name is Grace Malheiro. I did my undergrad here at Western in health sciences, and I'm currently doing a combined clinical master's PhD in audiology under the supervision of Dr. Danielle Glista. I became involved in HSSA a little bit later in my undergrad. So last year, in fourth year, I was the VP administration. So I was more involved with the organizational side of the association, facilitating like weekly council meetings, booking rooms for all the different wonderful events that HSSA has. And this year, I'm happy to be back again on the association as one of the senior advisors. So this involves more of like a mentorship role, helping out with different areas that come up. And some of my passions and interests outside of school, I enjoy long distance running, and I play tennis, and I have a little bit of a musical background, so I enjoy playing piano and a little bit of violin.
That's awesome.
That's so cool. You're my inspiration.
Yes, yeah. So you mentioned that your research focuses on audiology. What got you into that, and why did you pick audiology?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, in high school, I volunteered at Parkwood Institute. It's a hospital here in London. And I worked in a dementia care unit. So I worked with people living with dementia. And that got me interested in the research side of aging and dementia. Mm-hmm. So I started volunteering and in a research lab on campus here. It's called the Caregiving Research Lab, and it's run by Dr. Marisa Nadia. And in that lab, we focused on person-centered communication for people living with dementia and how we can best care for these individuals. So that got me into the research part. And then I went back to Parkwood and I thought, well, I'm really interested in this communication aspect. So I was like, maybe I'll try and shadow an SLP and an audiologist. And then I became really interested in the field of audiology through shadowing an audiologist and just seeing the impact that they really had on people's lives. So that led me to it.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's amazing. And I also have a question for you. I know that you mentioned grad school, and I know a lot of health science students are considering grad school. So I was wondering for you, why did you choose to go to grad school?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's a great question. I did a lot of research in undergrad. So like I mentioned, I was involved in the care lab. And then I also did an independent study course. That's a fourth year course that health science offers. And I really enjoyed the research aspect. I think it's so neat that you're able to take part in a project. You can extend on a project. You're involved in something that somebody hasn't done before. So I think it's so neat to like be able to have that impact. And I wanted to continue that on, so I decided I definitely want to continue on with research. So I decided to go into this combined program, but I also wanted to keep the clinical aspect as well. So that's why I wanted to focus on audiology as well.
Super cool. And delving into the health science academics that you mentioned, what do people normally do with the health science degree, do you think?
Yeah, I think Western's health science program is really unique in that there's so many different paths that students can take. So it's not limited to just the clinical side. You can go to grad school, do research. I know friends that went into law, friends that went into business. So I think there's just so many options, and sometimes you come in to health sciences and you think like, oh, I definitely just want to do a clinical degree after this, and I want to work as a clinician. But I think health sciences is so amazing that it like leads to different opportunities that you don't even know exist in the first place.
Wow, that's so cool that you can go to so many different pathways, even law. That's amazing. I didn't even know that. So I was wondering, I know to get into some of these grad school programs, you have to have great grades. And for you, what habits helped you improve your grades year to year?
So I think first year is definitely a learning curve. I remember in first year, at the very beginning of first term, I'd be like, okay, check. I've done my weekly readings. I've done my lectures. I think I'm good for this week. Like, I think this is good. But then I had extra time, and I could have used that time to start getting ahead, because later on in the semester, as you both know, it gets super busy with midterms. So definitely in the following terms and years, I decided right from the beginning of the start of classes, I would always like try to work ahead. So I always tried to be at least 1 week ahead in readings, just so that it's like kind of like a buffer in case you're not able. 1 week something comes up, you get sick. That allows for more flexibility, and then it also gives you a little bit more time when you want to study for your midterms. I know personally, it takes me a while to get the content in my head and then absorb it and be able to apply it, because university isn't just about regurgitating material, it's also about applying what you know.
Right. Wow, it sounds like you really achieved that balance in your first year. I think that's something that, at least for me, I'm really struggling with.
Me too.
It's okay. It will get better for sure. First semester's totally a learning curve.
Okay, fingers crossed. But then other than finding that balance, what do you think was the biggest challenge throughout undergrad beyond first year, and how did you overcome that?
I think balancing academics with social life, especially first year, I focused really solely on academics. Like, I was one of those people that would go to lectures, and then right after the lecture, right when it finished, I would head right to the library, study, or just head right home, catch up on readings. So I didn't really have that balance between like extracurriculars and the academics. So I really wish I was more involved right from the beginning, just like you guys are. So that's awesome, because you're both in first years. So yeah, I think that it also it becomes a challenge, because you feel like isolated and by yourself. But if you're involved in a bigger community, clubs on campus, it really allows you to connect with others. And school and like university life is so much more than just academics, grades, although it is very important. But it's so important to make those connections.
Oh, I completely agree, and actually, I'm still finding it a challenge to manage my social life and academics too. So I definitely see that, especially in first year. So I can fully agree with you. And sorry, you also mentioned research before, that you love research and it's something you want to continue doing. And I think a lot of health science students want to get into research. So I'm just curious, how did you get your first research opportunity?
So I was very fortunate. I sent a few cold emails to some professors, and at first I didn't get some responses, or if I did, there wasn't any opportunities open in the lab at the time. But then I came upon Dr. Sivanjanagam's lab, and I emailed her, and I was able to get a position in the lab. I know that cold emails don't always work all the time, so sometimes I have had friends that they make the connection through going to office hours with their professors. They know the TAs that are in the lab, or even being involved in an internship program, research internship program. So Western offers a USRI program, which is the undergraduate summer research internship program. And it allows students to connect with professors and work on a project individually under the supervision of this professor, and then at the end of the summer, you're able to present on your project. So that's another great way to get your foot in the door.
Yeah, that's such a great opportunity, and something that I didn't know
I
of.
had no idea.
Definitely be Googling this
for
right
sure.
after.
Check it out, yeah.
Yes. Something else I had to Google actually was how to cold email. I feel like during high school I never developed this skill. So do you have any advice for people who are like me, who are trying to do their first cold email ever?
Yeah, for sure. So when you send an email to a professor, it's important that you tailor the email to their research interests and to make sure that your interests also align with them. So you don't want to send out like mass emails to multiple professors and just copy and paste the content from one email to the other. You want to really tailor it. And one way you can tailor it is if you look at the professor's research website or the articles they've published, you can really gain an understanding of what their research is about and if it's something you would enjoy. Usually when you send like a cold email, it's a good idea to send like a reasoning why you're interested in the lab, and then maybe your CV or your resume, your academics, like your transcript. But it's definitely important that you find a fit between you and the supervisor. So there's no sense in just sending out multiple emails if you don't really feel like you have this connection or genuinely interested in the topic. Just because research can, it's a long process and you have to be very persistent. And if you're not interested in the topic, it can be very difficult. So it's very important to do your research ahead of time on the supervisor and make sure that you're interested in their field.
Wow, that was really helpful. The next time I try cold emailing, then I'll definitely make sure that I align and I do my research beforehand. Yeah, and I also know that it's important to perform well when you're actually in the lab. So I was just curious as what skills actually matter when you're in a lab or research setting?
So I think it really depends on what research lab you're in. So, like the natural sciences, it's more like hands-on. Maybe you're in a chemistry lab, like the pipetting. So those are more of the hard skills. But I'd argue that hard skills, they're very important, but the soft skills are just as important, if not more important, especially in the health sciences. So those soft skills like collaboration, communication, being adaptable with the team, because you're working not just by yourself, you're working with a team, you're working with a supervisor, and you need to be able to relate to them and have this strong communication between them as well.
Very insightful. I feel like that holistic approach to developing your skills is something that we don't often hear of. Really good to know. Kind of shifting gears to something that we're all hoping to get, a job. What is your approach of summer job hunting specific to a health science degree?
Yeah, so I, well, as you already know, I'm a little bit of a research nerd. So all 4 summers of following my undergrad years, I worked in a research lab. So I did end up doing 3 USRIs. That was the program I was previously mentioning, which is awesome if you're interested in research. But as I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, students can go into so many different fields with a health sciences degree. So it's not only research. So that's definitely one option to consider. But there's also like individuals that are interested more in the business side. So maybe they'll go for a management or marketing internship. Or maybe they're more interested in the clinical side. So reaching out to hospitals, they have internships for summer students. So I think it's a great idea to be involved in a summer job that allows you to use your knowledge from a health sciences degree and build your knowledge as well.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. I'm going to be using that this summer. But I was wondering, because I know a lot of first years especially have not much experience or even no experience. How can you make yourself still stand out for summer positions even if you lack that experience?
Yeah, no, for sure. Everybody starts at a place where you don't have any experience specific to the field. So personally, I didn't have any research experience before getting into the research lab, but I had experience volunteering with individuals living with dementia. And it doesn't have to be specific to the actual population you're going to be researching or working with. Just in general, do you have those interpersonal skills? Are you able to relate to individuals? Those soft skills again. And then also working other jobs that aren't even related to the field you're applying for. Even working at a grocery store. You gain so many valuable experiences just through that position. So any what you would think are maybe basic starting positions, all of those experiences build up. And professors really look at these experiences or any hiring employers would look at these experiences and see that, oh, this person has a hard work ethic. They've been at it for a while. Even though it's not specific to the field, I think these skills would be transferable.
We really appreciate you talking about your personal experience, and it seems like you have so much of it as well. Do you have any specific jobs or experiences that you think helped you out most long term?
Yeah, so definitely before I started research, which I think research helped me out long term for grad school, but I worked at a London public library actually for quite a number of years, and I worked as a page. So if people don't know, a page is somebody who basically they shelve books when they return them. But it's so much more than just shelving books. Like what I was saying about the grocery store. Like you think like, oh, you're just a cashier, you just stock the shelves. But it's actually so much more. You get to talk to patrons. You get to help out set up activities in the community rooms. There's leadership opportunities. I was also a lifeguard for a while, and so I was able to definitely gain more confidence in my communication abilities through this experience. So I think there's not one single job that definitely helped me in the long term, but I think all the experiences, they add up.
Yeah, no. Thank you so much for answering. And again, I'm really using all of it. I was wondering, do you have any suggestions on resources where you can find jobs maybe from like HSSA, FHSSC, or just Western in general?
I think it's like a great idea to get involved. So if you want to get involved in HSSA or FHSSC, take a shot, like just apply. Usually we have openings for positions in the spring for the next year. And even if you're like, oh, I don't really know if I'm gonna get it or not, it's worth a shot. And if you don't get it, that's okay. You tried and you put yourself forward, and there's nothing wrong with that. I know personally, I applied to some executive club positions in undergrad, and I didn't get them on the first try, but I tried the next year and then I got it. So I think it just shows that, you know, if you're persistent enough, an opportunity will come up. So you just got to put yourself out there. Yeah.
That's awesome. And I think that's something that I really learned this year too, where just like taking a stab, like send out your application, because who knows what's going to happen. That's how, at least for me, I came onto the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
For sure. I feel like it's so important to not say no to an opportunity unless it's very necessary to not do it. But I think it's so good to put yourself out there, because you never know what's going to come out of the opportunity, what connections will be made.
100%. And I feel like Western and HSSA in particular, they have so many different opportunities to get involved.
Yes. Yeah. So many clubs. Like, you know, you have cultural clubs, you have religious clubs, you have academics, focus on like specific fields, sports, arts, like the list goes on and on. So there's something for everyone. And if there isn't something for everyone, or for yourself that you think, you can actually create a club.
Yeah.
So the UCC has a process of creating clubs.
Yes, no, it's awesome. And I feel like sometimes it's overwhelming even.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm not sure if you guys went to Clubs Week. But
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Overstimulated. Oh, my goodness. But
so
like
many
in the
booths.
best way.
Yeah, no. So fun.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. And that's like a huge aspect of student life, I find, like involving yourself and building these habits to shape the rest of your undergrad. Were there any habits that you wish you built sooner?
I think, like I mentioned previously, just being involved right from the beginning. I think if I would have been involved from the beginning, those first 2 years would have been much easier. So definitely, like, again, putting yourself out there. It's almost like to balance your school and your life. So you, like, your social life. So I almost had, like, some things in my upper years that were, like, non-negotiables. So I'd be like, no, like I definitely will be exercising once a day. I'm going to do something just to get me like out of my office area, off my chair, because it comes to a point where you think like, oh, if I just keep studying, it's going to help me more and more, but it really doesn't. You gotta get up and just do something else, clear your mind, and you'll be you'll find that you're more productive if you like get up, move around, be with other people, socialize. Like even now in grad school, like I'm involved with the graduate student council, and we have weekly running groups. So like every week I'm just like, nope, like it's in my calendar, just like my other meetings. I put it in my calendar, 4:00 Tuesdays. You'll see me there.
Oh, I love that. You sound so disciplined. I definitely should try more. No, but I genuinely love that. I think you've really explained how you balance school with social life, and I think that's been like really helpful. And I know that health science students, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves sometimes. So I was wondering, in your opinion, what is one thing that health science students often stress about, but that in your experience doesn't really matter as much as they think?
Yeah, I think sometimes, especially like in first and second year, you're trying to find your module that you would be interested in. So I know health sciences has, they have the general health science module, they have biology, rehabilitation, there's some other ones, health promotion, I believe. And I remember thinking in my first year, like, oh boy, like, which one do I do? Like, I was kind of like stressing out. I was like, what courses should I take? But at the end of the day, I think it's important that you choose based on your interests and not what other people are doing, or not what you think other people would like you to like to see you do. All the modules are like wonderful, like they're all amazing, and there's no one right path. So you can start even in a module and you can switch earlier in your undergrad if you're thinking, you know what, this isn't for me, I'm not enjoying this. Go ahead and switch for sure, because at the end of the day, you're going to get your Bachelor of Health Sciences, and of course it's very important to have your module that you're interested in, but it's not the be-all and end-all, and I think you can go in so many different directions. So like I had a friend in the specialization with biology, and most people think right away like, oh, biology, she's going to go to med school, she's going to go to dentistry, but she actually ended up going to law, so it's like totally different than what you would expect. So I think like there's so much flexibility in health sciences, so definitely choose something that you're interested in and that it's not going to stress you out. Like there's no point in being stressed out because of what you think other people think you should be in.
That's awesome.
I love that. Sorry, I just had to say that because one thing I've noticed amongst like first years especially is because we don't know much, we're all trying to follow one specific path.
Yes, yeah.
So I think you nailed that.
For sure.
Yeah, it's just really reassuring that there's so many options out there. Like this is one of my key takeaways from today, I think.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Between the modules, do you think there are any like core skills that people can develop earlier on, whether it be academic or otherwise?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think all of them have their unique paths. So like if you're going to go into the biology module, that'd be more maybe scientific writing that you're going to learn, like more like lab reports. Whereas maybe if you're in the general health sciences, maybe you're going to learn more writing for like academic journals. But it really depends. I think that they're all unique in themselves and that you're able to build so many like academic, professional skills, interpersonal skills in all of them.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you too. And I was curious, I want to know if there's something that you wish every health sci student knew sooner. And I know you were talking a lot about getting involved, but I was wondering if there was any maybe opportunity you wish they knew sooner.
Yeah, I think even just HSSA in general, like we're here for you. We're the student body, like we want to represent the student body. So if you ever have any questions about health sciences, health studies, let us know. We're here to help. Also, I think something that I wish I knew earlier was like, everyone's here for you. It's not like the professors are out to get you or something like that. Like everyone is genuinely here for you. And if you put the effort in, great things will be accomplished. So I think it's just you have to get past yourself thinking like, oh man, like am I really meant to be here? And you are, like you got accepted into the program. So you just need to continue on with that mentality that like, yeah, I am here, and it's more of a mental thing to just think like, no, like I'm meant to be here and people are here to support me. So let's keep moving forward.
That's awesome. I definitely see myself involving myself more of asking these questions, specifically about careers. I feel like that is a huge thing for me that I'm worried about, especially with like AI. Like what even is an option for me anymore?
Yeah, no, for sure.
But what would you tell a health science student like us who has no idea what career that they want?
I think it's like a great idea to try new courses, that like new topics that you don't really know of yet. I think it's like interesting because like, for example, I knew a little bit about aging, like volunteering in the hospital, but then there's so many aging courses that health sciences offers. So I took some of those, and like I took a chronic disease course in fourth year, and I found it like super interesting. So I think like those courses that you don't even know what the topics are, but then you find like an interest in that area. So I think it's important to try something new for sure. And then I think like don't say no to opportunities. Like I said before, it's not like I just like woke up one day and I was like, oh, I want to be an audiologist. Like I like research. You definitely have to like try new things, apply for that internship, even though you might not get it. Just put yourself out there.
No, I love that. And that's like one thing that I think a lot of first years struggle with, like myself especially. And I think another thing is that we all always want to have everything figured out, but I know sometimes that's not good. And I was wondering what your opinion on that was. Do you think we stress too much about having everything figured out?
100%, yes. I don't think anybody has it figured out. If they say they do, I think they're probably lying. I'm in grad school and I don't have everything figured out. And you don't have to figure everything out like right now. Like there's no rush, and really like undergrad is like meant for you to explore. Like you're able to take all these different courses. It's like a wonderful opportunity. And so you don't have to stress about like, oh, I need to do this by this year and then this by this year so that I can go right after undergrad into this job or this program. Like just take your time. And do what you think is right for you and for your path. Don't stress about what other people are doing. Focus on yourself.
That advice really resonated with me. I feel like coming to university, you see everybody doing their own thing, and you're like, let me do that too.
Yeah.
But I'm just learning to realize that sometimes you have to take a step back and look at what you want and be reflective about it.
Yeah, there's no sense in comparing you with others, because you know, it just makes you feel bad about yourself. But everyone is here for a reason, so yeah.
Yes, very, very good advice. Is there any other advice that you would give your first year self?
Don't be too hard on yourself. Especially for first year, first semester. It's just a whole learning curve. So you're gonna have assignments or midterms that you didn't do well in. You're gonna make mistakes along the way. But it's your ability to bounce back after like a hard time. So definitely like just don't worry about like these like areas that are like really hard right now in your life, because eventually you'll overcome them. So yeah.
And I definitely agree. And I also think first year is just like a huge adjustment. So you get one bad mark and it's something you can't stop thinking about.
No, for sure. It even continues on. Like sometimes I think like when I get a mark back that I was like, oh man, I thought I did so much better, and then I can't stop thinking about it. But it's like, you know what? You got to move on. So yeah.
I love that. I do. And I think our conversation's been very, very deep so far and very impactful too. But I was wondering if maybe we could switch the tone to a little lighter.
Yes, for sure.
So I was curious, what's one health science class that you loved?
Yeah, I took it was a 4th year course, so maybe if there's students in their 1st or 2nd year or 3rd year trying to think of some 4th year courses. 4051, I believe. It's mental health, well-being, and recovery. It was very, very interesting. It's actually an essay course, so if you want an essay requirement in health sciences, that's an option. And you learn about like the cultural and religious needs of mental health care, which was so different than like this biomedical approach that you typically think of in like clinical care. And we were able to like reflect after each lecture in like small groups, talk about the different topics. I really liked like the writing portion, the essays. You're able to think about like these topics in the everyday context, as well in like different cultures and around the world.
Ooh, I will be hopping on and drafting my
too.
schedule right after this, adding that to right now. Is there anything else, maybe academics aside, that you would suggest every health science student to try at least once?
Ooh, okay. Definitely like the Spoke.
Yes.
If you haven't been to the Spoke, they are famous for their bagels. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think there's bagels for each faculty. I'm pretty sure.
I did not know
I think
that.
there's like a health science like bagel. I'm pretty sure they're still around. I remember they were around when I started earlier in undergrad. But yeah, definitely like go to the Spoke, try it out.
This
Wow.
health science bagel is new to me, and I'm really excited.
I'm going to try it.
I'm a little bit worried too. Like, what do you think is in a health science bagel?
I don't know. I actually don't know. I've never tried it myself. So I know. I'm like telling people to maybe go try it, but I haven't tried
We
it.
will be the guinea pigs.
We'll try it first, actually. We'll let you know right after
Okay.
this.
Sounds good.
Another question I was just curious about is what are you excited about in your master's program right now?
I'm looking forward to working with my lab mates. It's a great group, and I'm actually working on a project right now focused on diabetes and hearing loss. So individuals who are living with diabetes are actually twice as likely to experience hearing loss.
Oh, wow.
So it's very, very interesting field. Not much has been done in the area of like management and like early detection of hearing loss with the people who are living with diabetes. So I'm definitely interested in like learning more about this field.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
I'm curious about that too.
Yes, we'll
Stay
off the
tuned.
podcast we'll be investigating this. Awesome. And then, so kind of to close things off, what do you hope is the main thing that health science students can get out of this episode? Maybe how can we connect with HSSA? How can we connect with you moving forward?
I think like in general, like health sciences it's such a unique program. There's so many opportunities. Like I mentioned before, there's like a 4th-year thesis course if you're interested in research. There's some travel abroad opportunities, so aging globally. If you've ever come across that, it's like a program where the students go to Scandinavia actually after a course. Yeah, it's really interesting. So there's those opportunities, and I think it's just important to put yourself out there. I think I've said that a lot, but you never know where it'll lead to. It could lead to like new friendships. It could lead to new career development opportunities. So yeah, I think definitely try and say yes to opportunities that come up. And then as to how you can connect with me, everyone's welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn. My profile name is just my name, first name, last name, Grace Malheiro. And yeah, if you are ever interested in being involved in HSSA, definitely check out our Instagram page. We have opportunities and events that come up throughout the year, and we'd love to see you there. And it also shows that you're interested in HSSA, what we're doing, so that maybe if next year, if you want to apply for a position on the association, maybe you make those connections already. So it's definitely a great opportunity.
That's
Wow.
awesome. And I really appreciate the HSSA plug at the end there.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to do this with us.
Yeah, no.
Yes, we learned so much, and I feel like so much of what you mentioned today directly applies to us as first years, some people who are kind of curious about what health science is, and you answered so many questions that we had.
No, thank you so much for having me.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.